In the beginning of the drama, we see our female lead, whose name is Shen, who has been in the special forces. That is why she is very disciplined and strong. She wakes up every morning and does 100 push-ups. Whenever crime happens somewhere, she reaches there and helps people and always supports the truth. Currently, she is a martial arts instructor, and her father is looking for a girl for him to marry because he himself is a retired officer. On the other side, if we talk about our male lead of the drama, whose name is Lee, who has just become the chairman of Runcher Group of Companies. He is handsome but arrogant. He does not tolerate even a little negligence in matters of work. If someone makes any mistake, he directly fires him. He gets so busy that he doesn't have time to eat, so he keeps drinking coffee all the time in the office. Seeing this, his secretary says, "You should eat something or else your health will deteriorate or you will have to be admitted in the hospital." Hearing this, he starts saying, "Did you really think that I have to be admitted in the hospital? It is impossible." But as he moves forward, he sprains his leg and has to be admitted in the hospital. As soon as his friend Ling comes to know about this, he immediately reaches the hospital. As soon as he comes, he puts his hand forcefully on his leg. After this, Lee is fed up with his nonsense talks. Then the doctor tells Lee that his injury is not too big, but he has to take care of his health. He has to eat and drink on time. He has to do regular exercise. And he has to get the habit of sleeping early at night. Otherwise, his health will deteriorate further. After prescribing some medicine, he discharges him. Then his assistant goes to bring medicine for him, and Ling makes him angry with his talks. So Lee asks him to bring a juice for him. He was getting angry. Then, as soon as he was going towards his car, he sees a man trying to open the door of his car. Lee is not able to stop him, so the man starts pushing him and taking out some documents and runs away. Then Lee somehow catches him and is about to beat him. Just then our heroine comes from the front and asks him to stop. Taking advantage of this opportunity, that man leaves from there. Then Shen comes and she twists Lee's hand and throws him on the ground because she thought he was the partner of the thief and starts asking him, how dare he steal in broad daylight? Lee starts saying, "I am not a thief. It was the thief who stole my bag." But she also does not believe him. Then Lee shows his ID card to her. After this, she believes it and she says sorry to him. Then to bring back his bag, she goes after the thief with his car and also calls the police and tells them about her location. Finally, she overtakes the thief with a car. Seeing her, the thief tries to run away, but she defeats him with her martial arts skills and she ties him with his bite. After that, Lee gets out of the car and he sits on his knees because his injury had worsened a lot. Then she goes to help him, but he refuses, saying, "I will do it," but he is not able to get up and falls down. Then she helps him in getting up, and then looking at the watch, she remembers that she is late for her class. She quickly writes her name and number on a piece of paper and says, "If you ever need my help in the future, then call me." Then she quickly leaves, but Lee scolds her from behind and says, "I don't need your help. I don't even want to see your face again." Lee also throws that paper, but his secretary picks it up. Next, we see the scene of martial art school where a parent is complaining because their son got hurt because of Shin's martial art technique. So the boss there, Mr. Chen, somehow tries to convince them and says sorry. Seeing all this, she stops in tension and hides behind a cutout, but Mr. Chen catches her, and then he starts scolding her. She starts apologizing to him and says, "I will change and improve my teaching skills." But Mr. Chen says, "There is no need for this because you do your work too well." Then she says, "I am not able to understand what you want to say." He says, "Do you remember why you were fired from your previous job?" Then, through a flashback, we're shown Shin's old jobs where she used to work in a shopping mall, where she used to leave her work and go to help the police in investigation and used to help them solve their cases. Because of this, she had been fired. Her second job was in a restaurant. There also, she was fired from the job because of her fighting. Coming back to the present this time, Mr. Chen says, "You have taught techniques to the children here. One of the girls from your class broke the hand of another child from your class that too while playing with him. Do you even know how much loss our school can suffer?" Then she starts apologizing to him and starts telling emotional things about her dad. But Mr. Chen gives her this month's salary and fires her from the job. Here Lee is admitted in the hospital for a few days because his injury had increased a bit. So the doctor tells him, "I had told you a while ago that you have to be careful and take care of yourself, so now see for how many days you will have to be admitted." Then Lee asks the doctor, "When can I get well?" On which the doctor tells him that he has to rest for 7 days and he will have to stay in the hospital for observation for a minimum of 2 days. Lee refuses to do this because there is a lot of work in his office. The doctor says you have to stay here for 2 days. Otherwise, your condition can get worse. Here Lee considers the girl responsible for his condition and starts cursing her. Now, the person who had stolen the document gets the CCTV footage and makes this clip viral because he wanted to see Lee being made fun of in front of everyone, and this happens. When Lee is discharged, that video had gone viral in many places. All the staff of the office were enjoying this video. This makes Lee very embarrassed. He asks the secretary, who have seen this video in my office, on which she lies that only 4 security guards and 1 or 2 trial employees and some cleaning staff. But all the staff had seen this video and had a lot of fun watching it. So here Ling gives an idea to solve this problem, which was that if those people prove that it was just a practice or a martial art ad, in this way they can solve this problem. On which Lee agrees and asks his secretary to call that girl to the office. On the other side, Shen comes home, where her father is cooking food. Here it is revealed that one of Shen's father's hands is fake. Seeing this, Shen gets sad. Then in a flashback, we see that when both Shen and her dad are in the army, and Shen was the team leader and was sent to the rescue mission with her team to save some people. She saved the lives of all the people with full bravery and killed all the enemies, and at the same place Shen's dad had to lose his hand to save Shen from the bomb blast. And that is why now Shen is collecting money by doing many part-time jobs. She is doing this to buy a prosthetic arm for her dad. Now she has sent her resume to many companies, but she did not get any reply from any company. That is why she is worried. Now she has only 18,000 yuan in her bank account, whereas she needed 120,000 yuan to buy the arm. Here she blames Lee because of him she was fired from the job. Then she gets a call from Lee's company and Secretary Sue tells her that Mr. Lee wants to meet you. Here we come to know that Ling has been sent by Lee's father so that he somehow agrees Lee for marriage because all the blinds arranged by Lee's father have been rejected by him on some pretext or the other. Now he is fixing a blind date for him, so Lee starts telling Ling about the quality of the girl he likes. She should have such short hair that it should not go below her ears. She should not wear clothes like girls. She should be physically strong and not afraid of anyone. She should be a sports person who does boxing or fighting. Hearing all these things, Ling starts saying, "It seems to be impossible to find this type of girl." Then Lee says, "You have to tell my dad that if he finds this type of girl, then I am ready to marry her." After some time, Shen comes to the hospital to meet Lee, but she could not find him there. Then she sees someone's leg. Then she goes and sees that Lee was lying unconscious. So she quickly calls the doctor, and after bringing him to consciousness, the doctor says, "You have to take care of yourself, you have to rest." After the doctor leaves, she comes in front of him, seeing which Lee was shocked. Then she tells him, "I saved you, that's why both of us are equal. First, I am sorry for hurting you, and now I just saved you. So, everything is over for us too." Then he says to her, "Did you help me just to avoid taking responsibility?" She says, "I never do this, and if it is my mistake, then I will take responsibility. But in the process of catching the thief, I was also thrown out of my job." Then Lee says, "I do not want any compensation from you, but in return you have to do something for me." Then he shows her the viral video and tells her if the media ever asks you any questions related to this, then you will have to tell them that you are my instructor. And at that time I was only practicing martial arts. But she cannot lie, so she refuses to do it. Lee says, "Okay then, compensate me for my condition." Then Shin says, "If this is what you want, then you will have to learn some martial art techniques from me. Only then I will agree to this deal, because I never lie." But Lee says, "How can I practice martial arts in this condition?" She says, "I have trained harder than you in conditions like you." Then she starts teaching him different techniques. After learning which, he picks up Shin and throws her down. Just then the assistant sees them both like this, so she starts leaving saying sorry, but Lee stops her. Then the assistant tells him, "A new driver has been appointed for you, and his salary is 360,000 yuan. Hearing this, Shin gets surprised, and she says to Lee, "Do you really pay 360,000 yuan to your driver?" He says, "Yes, but why are you asking this? Do you want me to hire you as my driver?" Then she said, "I know how to drive all kinds of cars from sports car to army tanks." She was telling him about her driving skills, then he stopped her and said, "There is no need for this, a driver has already been appointed for me." Then she says, "If you want an assistant or a secretary, I am ready to do anything. I know how to do all kinds of jobs." Lee says, "Do you even know how much a secretary or an assistant has to do how much work? I don't think you are right for this job." Then she said, I will become your martial arts instructor, and she praised his skills a little. But he clearly refused and said, I just want you to explain this martial arts game in front of the media properly, only if needed. Otherwise, don't do anything else, and please leave me alone. Then he shows her the way to the door. Then Lee looks at his shirt which he was wearing a while ago and asks Shen, who changed my clothes? She says, the nurse did, but I also helped him. Then he asks, did you see everything I mean my muscles? In reply, she says, there should be something too that I should see. Then she leaves from there. Next, she is going for an interview in the company. Before reaching there, she is told that her resume has been rejected. Then she notices that a guy wearing a bare dress is following her. Then she understands and throws him down, and he is her childhood friend who has just come back from abroad after completing his studies, whose name is Feng. Shen is elder than Feng, but even then Feng likes Shen. But Shen considers him as her younger brother. Here Shen tells him about her leaving job. Then he quickly starts looking for a job for her, and he gets a vacancy in the post of assistant to the chairman in a company. The salary would be 400,000 yuan. There are some requirements for the job, like one should have good driving skills, should know English and basic language, and she was a master of all these. So she applies for this post. On the other side, Lee's father comes to meet him. The two of them do not get along at all. Actually, Lee's father had issued a vacancy for the post of assistant for him, but he refuses outright. He asks his father to go back to Europe. Then after some time, someone calls Lee and tells him that something has happened to his father and he had not yet come to his senses. Then Lee reaches the hospital where the assistant tells him that he was inspecting the research lab this morning and there was an explosion in the device due to which he is in this condition. There is nothing to worry about. He is out of danger now. Then he tells that before the accident the chairman had asked me to find an assistant for you, but Lee clearly refuses because he felt that his father wants to keep an eye on him through the assistant, and he does not like it at all that someone is in between his work. But the assistant says that he does not have any such attention, rather he is just worried about you, that's why he is doing this. Then Lee says, it is okay, then you can do whatever you want to do, and he leaves from there. After some time the assistant wakes him up and tells him that finally he agreed. It means that Lee's father is absolutely safe and he is just pretending to be unconscious, and the research lab incident was also planned by him. He did it because he was going to the snake in the company so that he can save his company from them. After this, he hires her as a special assistant for Lee, who is none other than Shen, who matches his quality. On the other side, Shen's dad is asking Shen to stay away from Feng because according to him, people who look handsome are not trustworthy. After this, he again starts talking about her marriage and tells her that what kind of boy should you find for yourself who is protective, responsible, and most importantly, you should trust him. Shen is also saying okay, and she passes it. It seems that he is very serious about her marriage. That's why he sets out to find a groom in his friend's circle. After that, Shen gets a job offer mail from Runcher Group. Seeing this, she becomes very happy, and the next day she reaches the office with her bicycle and all the employees are just looking at her because she was looking very cool. She goes and asks the employees about the chairman's office. Then she tells that the chairman is not in the office right now, so you can go to the office gym and dry your hair because it was raining outside. After this, she goes to drop him to the office, after which she gets her hair dryer done. On the other side, we see that Lee comes out of the pool, and after a while, Shen also comes there. Seeing her, he asks her, what should you do here? Shen says, I work here. He says, you had said that I have been fired from my job because of me. Then she says, I am so capable that I got another job in a very short time with a much higher salary than that. He says, your employer must be blind who has employed a violent girl like you. I am worried about his hands and legs who hired you. She says, he is not at all like you. He is a self-made businessman. He has built such a big company on his own. Now he has asked me for the post of his special assistant. Then Lee says he is going to regret a lot by appointing you. She says, I don't want to waste more time talking to you, so I am leaving. Lee stops her saying, before leaving, listen to my advice. You should stop your violence here. Otherwise, you will be thrown out. Then she says, I don't care about you. Whether you are here or not, I just want to work best for my boss. Saying this, she starts leaving, but he stops her saying, I don't like your attitude at all. She says, I am in a hurry. Do you want to come in my way? Then he says, yes, I will come in your way. Tell me, what will you do? Then she throws him into the pool and says, don't come in my way. I don't get angry so easily, but when there is a man like you in front of me, I can't control myself. Then he starts shouting on her, see how violent you are. Your boss will be the most unlucky person in the world who will regret after hiring you. But ignoring him, she goes away. But after a while, when she goes to meet the chairman, she gets shocked seeing Lee. She checked the official website of this company, and the name of the chairman was something else. Then he told her that he is my dad whom I succeeded a few days ago, and now I am the chairman of this company, and according to that I am your boss too. For now I am very happy that today I have got a chance to take revenge from you. Then he says, Shin, so you want to work in this company. Then he takes the appointment letter from there and tries to tear it, but it does not tear. He tries many times with a lot of force, but he is not able to tear the letter. Now he feels embarrassed and says, leave it, there is no need for this. I fire you from the job now. Then she says, I have signed a contract before coming here. It means I have already become an employee here, so you cannot remove me without any valid reason. Now he gets very angry and he calls the department and asks his dad's assistant, how did you hire an assistant without my approval? The assistant says, I did not do it. Your father hired that girl for you, and you had told me to do whatever I wanted to do. Then he says, I don't know what I said, but fire her right now. The assistant says, the chairman had told me that you will definitely say such things. That's why he has asked me to tell you that if you fire her from the job on any pretext, then you will also lose your position as chairman. That's why think carefully and decide that you have to work with her or lose your position. Now on hearing this, he gets very angry, but controlling his anger, he tells her, so you have to become my personal special assistant. Here she did not want to, but right now she needs money. That's why she says yes. Then Lee puts conditions and tells her, my assistant should know all the work of the office and should have expertise in martial arts. Then showing her certificate, she tells him, I have already completed my major and have been the champion of the National Chinese Kickboxing Tournament for 3 years. Then he tells her, my assistant has to work very fast and should also be smart. Then she shows many military models who are impressed by her work and she was rewarded. Then he says, my assistant should be loyal and ethical. Then she says, I was made to serve as a soldier for 3 years, and before joining the army, I was loyal to the country, which proves my loyalty. She tells him, I was a squad leader in the army, and I led many soldiers. This is how the conversation between the two continues. Finally, Lee has no excuse left, so he tells her, because you have troubled me a lot and hurt me, that's why I cannot let you work here. She tells him, can we not talk about this? But he with full attitude says, there is no chance of you working here. Then she shows him his viral video and says, what if you think about it? Then he starts talking to her properly. There is no need for this. We sit and talk. Then she says, there is nothing to talk about. I am going to do my work. Then he also leaves saying, wait a little, I will come now. After that, Lee calls his friend Ling, who was in the research department. Lee asks him to come to meet him. After that, Lee tells him about the whole scandal with Shen. After meeting him, Lee starts saying to Ling that something is wrong. I think my dad has sent her to keep an eye on me. She deliberately tried to get my attention, and she requested me a lot to keep her on the job and approached me again. She does not look like such a simple girl. It means that my dad has definitely sent her here. Ling, after seeing Shen's resume, tells him that she has received awards for bravery in all her previous jobs. Then he says, whatever it is, but this girl is very talented, and you should use her talent. You should not let it slip out of our hands. That's why first of all you have to bring her on your side so that she works for you and not for your father, and this work will be very easy for a person like you. Then he praises him a little so that he can bring her under his control. After that, Lee creates a new contract, and according to this, she will be the special assistant of Lee. He tells her that her previous contract has been terminated. Then as she goes to read it, he talks about her salary, which is 400,000 yuan per month, and she will also get medical benefits. Then she asks, will she get electronic devices like a prosthetic arm? Lee says, yes, if you work well. Hearing this, she gets happy and signs the contract without reading it. After this, the secretary gives a notebook of Lee's daily hobbies to Shin, which he has to memorize completely. Then she takes her to her cabin, which is the storeroom of the company. After seeing it, she thinks, why has he sent her to work in the storeroom? Then Shin asks, is this whole room for me? And so much stuff is lying here. What should I do with it? Then she says, you can arrange all these things according to your convenience. Then she asks, do you want to work here? Shin says, I don't have any problem. On the other side, we see Lee, who did this intentionally. Actually, Ling gave him the idea that first of all he should behave strict on her so that he gets disturbed with this job. Then finally you make the entry and will help her. She will definitely get impressed by this. Then Lee asks the secretary, how was her reaction after seeing the room? She says she got more motivated after seeing the condition of the room and started her work. Hearing this, Lee becomes shocked, and then he goes to check it once. When he comes, he sees that Shen had arranged everything, and there was not even a little bit of dirt in the room. Just then, Shen also had come here while eating and asks Lee, what are you doing here? Lee says, I had come here to see whether my assistant is comfortable here or not. Then he starts leaving, but he is not able to open the door. Seeing this, Shen says, let me try. But he says, there is no need for this. Did you think that I cannot open a door? She says, no, you are the boss. You can do anything. So he tries a lot even after putting his feet, the door does not open. She was enjoying seeing all this. Now the poor guy gets very embarrassed and then asks Shen, you go and try. But even with this, the door does not open because the door was jammed. Hearing the voice, some employees reach outside. Then the secretary asks Shen to take care of Lee. She is called the key maker. Shen thinks he is not a small child, that she has to take care of him, and then she notices that he is behaving in a certain way. Then she asks, Mr. Lee, are you okay? Are you having any problem? Then she goes to check like that, but Lee pushes him back and asks her to keep quiet. Here the secretary talks about calling an ambulance. Now Shen checks the diary and comes to know that when Lee gets trapped in a closed place, then do not come near him. Now Lee has a problem of something, and we will come to know about it later. Then Shen goes to break the door, and Lee also helps her, and in this they break the door and come out. Next we see Lee's rival, whose name is Gao. When he comes to know that Shen has become the special assistant of Lee, he asks his assistant to keep an eye on her and to find out the weakness of Lee. On the other side, Shen takes a report and goes and sits in front of Lee. Then when she sees that he is her boss, so she stands up and shows her report and tells him that I have observed that the employees working here lack moral values as well as motivation. So I can coach all of them so that they get motivated. Lee says this is a good idea. Then Shen asks how much money will be given for coaching. Now after hearing this, Lee refuses, and when he is leaving, Lee notices the injury in her hand, and he goes to call the secretary to bring the ointment, but Shen tries to convince him by telling him that there is no need for it. It is just a small scratch and leaves from there. Next, she goes to meet her friend Feng. Here he tells her that he is going to do an internship in a company nearby, so from now on they will be able to go to the office together and also go home together. She gets very excited after hearing this, and she starts telling him about her office work. After that, on returning to the office, the secretary shows Shen her personal work table from where she also gives her the title of personal special assistant. Then she also gives her an ointment box which Mr. Lee had ordered for her. Then seeing Shen, he asks her very lovingly, do you like your new workplace? Then he himself makes her sit here and asks her to take rest. Then Shen asks, after all, what is so special about today that you are caring for me so much? Then Lee says, you are a special assistant of me, that's why you are special and different from everyone. Then he goes to his cabin. Then we come to know that Ling gave another idea to Lee. You will behave with her very lovingly and slowly approach her. Then she can do anything just to get your attention, and then she will automatically come to your side. But nothing like this happens. On the contrary, she gets suspicious. Then Shen messages Feng and asks him, my boss has become strange. First he was troubling me, and today he is doing it for my sake. He asked me to sit on the bench and rest. Now after hearing this, Feng says, call the police. How can someone touch you? I think he wants to do something with you, or his intentions are bad. Then she also gets a little scared. When Lee goes out of the office, the secretary Sue says to Shen, you should follow him as you are his personal assistant, and she does the same. Then Lee comes to his company's lab to enter. Here he has to enter the password outside, so he enters the password and goes inside. But Shen checks around to see if someone is nearby. There are a lot of cameras installed, but none of them was at the right place. Then she starts entering the password. Just then Ling sees her from behind and puts his hand on her shoulder asking, what are you doing here? Now, as usual, she twists his arm and bends him down, wanting to ask him who he is. Now Ling's condition was getting worse due to the pain, but he quickly escapes by showing his ID card. Then she says sorry and gives her introduction. Then Ling says, you are exactly like an ideal girl of Lee. Then he shows her the imaginary drawing which he had made when Lee had told him about the qualities of an ideal girl, and by combining the qualities, he had made a picture of a gorilla. Seeing this, Shen gets angry and punches him hard. After that, Ling takes her to Lee. But Lee tells her to leave from here because he does not need her here. But Ling says that she has been in the special forces, so she will be better at investigation than us, and she can help us in the investigation. Then Lee tells her about the accident with his father, and now both of them together start finding out the cause of the explosion. Then Lee tells her that a biological model has been stolen from this lab. But Shen does not understand and asks, "What is a biological model?" Then he shows her the mouse, which was an experiment model. Here Ling jokingly asks Shen, "Are you scared of the rats?" Then Shen picks up that rat in her hand and says, "I am not scared of a rat." She says, "We used to eat such rats in the army, so I will not be scared of this." Then she starts taking the rat towards them. Then Ling says this rat's cost is $50,000, so please don't play with him. But she starts playing with him. Then Lee tells her, "If you don't keep him carefully, your salary will be deducted if anything happens to this rat." Hearing this, she keeps it in the box carefully, and then they find out the reason for the explosion. Then they get the footage of that day, and looking at the footage, she catches that person. By looking at his backside, she tells his height, weight, and tells Lee that man was definitely sent by your dad or your dad's rival to see the testing going on with the biological model in your lab. Then Ling says he had come here to steal the model, and he must be a man from this field. Ling says a business dinner party is going to be held where all the big businessmen of this field will come. So he asks Lee to take Shen with him to the party so that she can help him in catching that man. But Lee outright refuses. On the other side, we see Secretary Sue, who had come to buy her favorite strawberry cake. But then Foam comes there, who first pays for that cake and makes it his. But Secretary Sue stops him and says, "I had seen it earlier, so I will take it." But he says, "What is the use of seeing? I have already paid for it." And he leaves and takes it to the office to have lunch with Shen. But he is not allowed to go inside the office. Here the secretary comes and asks, "What are you looking for? And, by the way, why do you want to meet Shen?" Here he wants to say something before that. Secretary Sue says, "Tell me the truth. I will deliver this to her." Then he says, "Were you lying to eat this cake?" Sue says, "What nonsense are you talking about?" Just then Shen calls him and says, "I have eaten lunch, so I cannot go to have food with you." She says, "You leave it at the reception. I will take it later." But then Secretary Sue tells her, "I will take it to you." That's why Foam has to give it to her. And then she brings it to Shen. Here Shen tells her that he is her brother and also tells her that he is very good at cooking. Now she gives this cake to her because she has been eating lunch and the sound of a rat running was coming from her stomach. Then the secretary leaves from there. After that, some female employees start gossiping about Lee's girlfriend and also ask Shen about it, but Shen doesn't have any answer to the question. Then we see that Lee was listening to their conversation, so he asks them to do their work properly. Then he calls Secretary Sue to his cabin and asks her to give extra work to these two employees. Then she asks him about taking Shen to the party, but he refuses to do this too and tells her, "Don't you think that my boss must have sent her to keep an eye on me? That's why I can't take her." Here it is revealed that the real spy is none other than Secretary Sue, and here Lee's dad is listening to all the conversations that Lee had told in the cabin. That he is feeling something strange, that he has not had any contact with his dad for 2 days, and his assistant is picking up his calls. So Lee decides to go to the hospital and meet his dad. Then it is revealed that Secretary Sue is the daughter of the business partner of Lee's dad, and she was not interested in the job of secretary. But because Lee was handsome, that's why she went to do the job. After this, the chairman made her his spy because of her. All the news about Lee reaches him. Here Lee's dad says something had happened to Lee 2 months ago because of which he is about to lose him, but luckily nothing like that happened. And this is the reason why he wants to keep an eye on him, so that he can be safe. Here Secretary Sue tells him that Lee is thinking Shen is your spy, due to which she can get into trouble. But Lee's dad tells her not to worry about it because she is perfect for Lee as she is his ideal girl. Hearing this, Secretary Sue is surprised. Here in the office, Shen notices that Lee is not in his cabin. She asks about him, and the guy tells her that he had heard that he is going to the hospital today to meet his father. But she did not know about it, so she calls him 2-3 times, but he does not pick up her call. So again, she feels something is wrong. So she goes to check his cabin where she sees the coat on the hanger and remembers that a while ago a tracksuit was hanging there. so she feels something is wrong. On the other side, Lee had reached the hospital to meet his father. After looking left and right to confirm that there is no one nearby, he goes to open the door, but the door does not open. So he tries to open it by pushing it hard, but in this process, he gets injured. Here Shen laughs and says to him, "Mr. Lee, it seems that you like breaking doors a lot." Then seeing her, Lee says, "Stop laughing and first tell me, what are you doing here?" She says, "I was worried about you. That's why I came here to see you." Lee says, "What will happen to me?" Then he says, "Leave all this. First you tell me the truth. Is my father's health really bad or not? And is he also inside this room or not?" She says, "How will I know if your father is ill?" "Only you will know." On which he says, "Yes, I knew that you are not going to come, so first you open the door and go inside." She says, "It is locked." Then Lee says, "That's why you should think of some idea to open the door. It will be easy for a girl like you who has been in special forces." She says, "Okay." Then she takes off his drawstring from his dress and with its help unlocks the door. And when they go inside, they don't find anyone there, due to which Lee gets confirmed that he is pretending to be ill. Just then some guards come there, so they have to run away from there. But Lee runs a little and gets very tired. He was not even breathing. Then they hide behind the wall and she covers his mouth with her hand. After the guards leave, she removes her hand, but he was still not able to breathe. Then Lee says, "If you want to take away my position by killing me." Then Shen says, "There is no such thing." After this, she makes him breathe in and out to bring back his normal breathing. She tells him, "You are very weak. You do not know the right way to breathe while running. By the way, you are out of breath. I doubt how you became the boss of this company with such a weak body." Then Lee tells her to leave from there, but his legs do not move because his legs become numb. After a while, both of them go towards the parking area, and here she advises him to do a workout, saying that he is very weak. "If you do not exercise, then your health will deteriorate very soon." Then, to make her quiet, he shows her the number 23 of his contract. "According to this, you cannot interfere in my personal life, nor can you comment on this. If you violate this, then you'll have to pay compensation." Then, through his dad's bank details, Lee comes to know that his dad has gone to Europe. Then Shin starts asking him, but he was ill, right? Now she has come very close to him, so he tells her to always stay 50 centimeters away from him. Then Lee goes to drop Shin home while maintaining distance from each other because Lee did not want to let her go home alone. When they reach home, Shin says thank you, and in return she will make him exercise for 1 hour every day from tomorrow. But Lee says, "You will not get any extra money for this." Shin says, "I don't even need it. Just remember one thing. If you don't do exercise, then you will not get success." Lee says, "My success has nothing to do with my exercising. My brain is enough to get success." Then, showing his muscles, he says, "See, I am fit." Then she says, "I will exercise you for 1 hour every day for 30 days. Then Lee says, "I will agree to this only on one condition, that you find my house before 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that too without asking for help from anyone." On which she also agrees. On the other side, we see Lee's dad, who is talking to someone on the phone, and we come to know that his company is engaged in making some anti-cancer medicine that is needed very urgently, from which we come to know that maybe he has cancer, and that is why they are after Lee to get married, so that before something happens to him, he gets to see his marriage. Now he has full faith in Shin that she will take good care of Lee. And here the part 1 ends. Don't forget to subscribe because the next part will come tomorrow.